Beer. Today, our guest is the Hammer of Hattiesburg, Mr. Adam McPhail. Adam, cheers, bro.
Man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
I was just downstairs telling Aaron how good it was to hear you absolutely murder a guitar.
Same to you,
in
man.
person. Yeah, I definitely killed it.
It's been years since we played, right?
That's true, man. Was the last time we jammed at my old house?
At your old house, like 3 years ago.
Shame on us for that.
Terrible.
Life and such. How dare
pandemics.
Yeah, man.
And
worldwide pandemic.
And gigs
yeah,
and
girlfriends. The worst. Pandemic. Gigs are not the worst. We like gigs.
We'll take gigs.
Gigs.
Please give us
1-800 Adam McPhail.
What's your hotline?
1-800 Rob Miller. Actually, Aaron told me that I should go by my full legal name, which is Robert Big Daddy Miller. But
It's the legal name?
that's what's on my birth certificate.
So my name is James Adam McPhail. My first name is actually James, but I've been thinking about going by Adam James. And me and Ryan Connors, we thought of this idea the other night. So I'm pondering it.
I have something to add to that.
McPhail is so hard for people to say.
Dog, your initials are Jam.
They are. But the last name McPhail has been so hard, just people are always like, what?
McFall?
Yeah. Or, yeah. Misspell it, mispronounce it.
It's like M-C-F-A-L.
I'm proud of the name. Irish, but it's just difficult, you know?
I like it.
And then I go by Adam, and it not being my first name has been difficult with like paperwork and things my whole life, you know? So
I'm in a band where I play bass in this band, and the guitar player's name is Rob. He's been on this podcast, Rob Music. And because he is Rob and he was there first, they actually call me Bobby Jam. So, which is your kitchen name, right? Well, that is my kitchen's name. Brought to you by Bobby Jam's Kitchen. Which you cooked a great meal for me earlier. And it was so my good. Thank honor you. And pleasure. As Lyndon has infamously said on this podcast, the food and the beer is currency around here. That's how I get anybody to do anything. Great. Otherwise, people will be like, he's an average personality. It's kind of far. I think I'll stay home. It is a little far. It is a little far. I'm your friend, though, because I drove here for 45 minutes in the pouring rain. You did. The unfortunate timing of the rain rolling in at rush hour definitely... It was less than ideal. Made things a bit And then you mixed the potholes. So, City of Nashville... Can we... Dear Davidson County, get it together! Yeah, I don't like driving my car. I have a nice car and a not nice car. So I think I'm going to just drive the not nice car. I have a not nice car, and I have a nice car, but I don't get to drive that. The lady... My girlfriend takes my nice car more, so... Yeah, the lady mobile. That's a good... They're happy. I'm okay with it. She has a nice, reliable car that is comfortable and safe. What was it, Land Rover? Yeah. Looks nice. That's a good car, man. Very nice. It's a good car. Yours? Not so much. No. Mine, almost 20 years old. Yeah, mine's, 2003? No, yeah. 20. Oh, yours 18 years old? Yeah, mine's 15 years old. Yeah. No, 19. Welcome back to Gear and Old Cars. I'm sorry, beer and old cars. Okay. Adam McPhail, that's who we're talking to. Everybody, if you tuned out because of the dribble that was just coming out of our mouths, first of all, welcome back to Gear and Beer with Adam McPhail. I have a website. Oh, that's true. We could put it right there, right? Yeah, I'll put that up. It's just www.adammcphail.com. Go there for all of your inquiries and merch needs. No merch. You need an Adam McPhail antenna topper. We got those for you. We don't. We don't have those. Okay, so you are one of the better guitar players in this world. Don't say that. And I just did. You can't take it back, and no one can stop me. I'm bigger than everyone in this room, and that is a fact. I dare you guys. I'm probably bigger than you two guys put together, and that says more about me than it does about y'all. Just putting that out there. There's something y'all can put something on the screen. I'm what is currently colloquially described as thick with 2 C's.
possibly a third.
Maybe
C.
a third. We might get one of them joints that like the button got stuck. You know,
and
what I'm
just
saying?
kept going. Yeah, and iMovie glitched.
Okay, so tell me this. You moved here how long ago? 5 years? 7 years? 6 years.
And a half years ago.
6.5 years ago, okay. And you're from Hattiesburg originally.
Mississippi.
Had you...
Represent?
Did I meet
Linden
you when you already lived here? Did I meet you when you still lived in Hattiesburg?
You met me in my, first months of Nashville.
Okay.
Yep. Because I was
fairly new at that time.
I was filling in for Dynamo.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And so I had played in a band back home, Friends Fly South.
Yeah.
And we had done shows with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And with Dynamo.
At the Hippo. What's the place called?
Thirsty Hippo.
Thirsty Hippo, yeah.
And
that's a cool spot. Is that spot still around?
It's still around.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was temporarily closed over COVID, but
sure.
I think I just did a show there over Christmas, actually.
Oh, you guys had a reunion kind of thing, right?
Yeah, every year we try to do a reunion show with Josh Reynolds and Ray and all them, you know.
What was the other Ray, the sax Ray? Wasn't there a sax guy also named Ryan? That's
Raziano.
That's right.
Lyndon, you might know him.
I know Ryan. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Great player.
Great player.
Yeah,
actually scary good player, not just great.
Yeah, Ray gave me some record that
we recorded.
Yeah, but it was Ryan's record. Is that
it was called Raziano. So you put Ray and Raziano together.
Oh, is that what was happening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we're back.
And we did that one.
Is that streaming anywhere?
To be honest, I don't know. Probably.
We have the power.
But say if I can find it, the link will be there. I
hope so. Raziano and Friends, Start of Something New was the name of the album.
It's there.
It's there. It's still up. And then we did. Then we changed the name of the band to Friends Fly South.
Yeah.
And we did a live album at the Hippo.
2 sax players on that, right?
The live one had sax. Sax, trumpet, and trombone.
Wasn't one of the dudes, one of the horn players was from San Antonio or from Texas somewhere? Or Fort Worth?
Yes, Fort Worth. Gary.
What's his name?
Garrick.
Garrick.
Yeah, Gary Pitts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember meeting that dude. I hadn't thought about him.
Great guy. Went to college together.
He's a great player.
All of those players are amazing. That's, I was always the young one, and they taught me without even knowing they were teaching me, but I learned a lot from them, especially Josh Reynolds and Ray.
Yeah.
I had never played gospel music ever as of 7 years ago. You know?
Wow. And now you do that quite a bit on a pretty big stage.
Yeah, it's been great. I've had the honor of playing with some big gospel artists, but
hell, you played with Tommy Sims last night, son.
Tommy Sims last night.
Tommy Sims is the
I just
shit.
played with Ty Tribbett.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was cool.
That's
Ty
dope.
Tribbett, and it's been good.
His version of Little Drummer Boy is awesome.
I don't know that I've heard it.
It's like trap. It's got trap stuff going on. It's freaking awesome.
Anyways, my first church gig was with Josh
and Ray
and Josh's brother Jeff.
I don't know him.
They were supposed to teach me the songs beforehand, and it just didn't happen or something.
That's very true.
And I was very lost.
Oh, you mean every gospel gig?
Yeah. I was very lost, and I just basically played nothing until the very last song when it was some simple progression. I finally found it, But it was kind of humbling because I had no idea at all.
Have you? I'm putting you on the hot spot. I'm just going to go ahead and say this has definitely happened to me before. Have you ever been on a gig playing a song and then all of a sudden not be able to remember what key you're in?
Yeah.
Because that's happened to me 3 times.
Especially if it's jumping around a lot,
Man.
Especially at first. Yes.
This
Maybe
happened well into my professional career, a couple of times. And it's for a bar, but I'm like, what song is this? What key is it in? Where am I?
I think we all have our moments.
Man, it's crazy. It's how does my brain remember so many nuanced things about this stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like the wheels start spinning on your
especially
computer.
Gospel. There's so many reharms and licks and lines, and
yeah,
the specials.
And it's like the same for 15 of the 16 bars, but on one of the bars they do this thing, and it's like everyone's going to remember, so you better remember.
Yeah, it's taught me
I love
a lot.
that. I love. It's easier for me to remember hard arrangements than it is boring ones.
Yeah,
things that are indistinct.
1-4-6-5 or 4-1
or any
6-5.
iteration thereof.
Yeah, but the church, like gospel music, has taught me a lot. Like I grew up in a Catholic church. I went to St. Thomas Catholic Church growing up, and not energetic at all, very much just stand and sit and say the unison prayers and whatnot. But
organ or piano?
It was an organ. Yeah,
I think that might be where Jessica went. My girlfriend Vital.
I don't know. Maybe. Probably.
She got a younger sister named Jenny Vital.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or sorry.
Uh-oh.
Janet.
He's in trouble.
Janet. Her older sister is Jenny.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. It was, I went there for a long time until like senior year of college, and then I got my first like gig at a church, and then I kind of just never did the Catholic thing again.
Not a lot of
room for
not a lot of vocational
guitar,
opportunities in Catholic church.
There was like one time
players.
I got to play, but
I played twice at a Catholic church, and both times it was like special music for Christmas or something like that.
I'm very glad I found gospel though, because it was I did a lot of like rock and metal growing up and blues, and then was touring a country act in college, and then was studying jazz, and then I found gospel, and it was like all of that in one.
Yeah, mixed up.
And I was like,
especially jazz, country, and blues.
Yeah, so it was perfect.
I love playing that iteration of like modern Southern gospel kind of a thing. It's so much fun. It just feels good.
It does.
It just feels good, man. And what more do you
I've
need
honestly
out of
had
music?
very few styles of music like touch me as much as gospel.
Yeah.
Like especially when you're in the moment and everything's like
Get them goosebumps.
Hitting like it should, and it's doing everything it needs for the people. It's cool.
And it's like a lot of times that has to happen with like a less than ideal equipment situation.
Equipment or other
monitors
things. Yeah.
A lot of it through a lot of adversity, and it's still fun and it still feels good.
Yeah.
Playing like Fred Hammond tunes, like late 80s kind of vibe. Man, I love that stuff. Or like
John P. Key or something.
I was just going to say even like Walter Hawkins and like that that vibe and that the old school stuff.
Yeah.
But like, man, that stuff's killing. I put that kind of, no offense to CCM, I don't have any of that in my big like random playlist. I got a lot of gospel in my big random playlist, probably between extremely hardcore hip hop and death metal. But
I know my playlist goes from like Lamb of God to like
exactly
like
to Ty Tribbett
or Miranda Curtis or somebody.
I like Kurt Carr. I haven't heard anything from him in a while. I'm sure he's still releasing stuff, but I haven't.
I'm a little out of the loop in the moment.
Same.
Because like I haven't been doing a church gig for the last 7 months or so.
Oh, really?
My schedule got too busy, and I just really didn't have time for it.
Sure.
I was at a church here, Living Truth Christian Center. Great people, have nothing. There was no bad blood or anything. Just got too busy. I did that for 5 years, and it was time to step away.
Well, and you're also teaching your faculty at Belmont. What exactly are you doing?
So at Belmont, I'm an adjunct professor of guitar.
Yeah.
And now at Lipscomb University, I'm the head of the guitar program. I'm the coordinator of guitar studies
at cool.
Lipscomb University.
Dope.
I started that this past year.
Okay, so you're able to do both?
I'm able to do both.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a lot to manage right now,
Yeah.
But we'll see what the future holds, but as of now I'm doing both. Yeah.
That's cool though, man.
Yeah.
That's a young cat doing a lot of heavy lifting, bro.
It's a lot of responsibility, but I enjoy it, and cuz balancing that with like I also have my own private studio where I teach. Probably have 10 to 15 students there. So each week I'm teaching like 32 to 35 guitar lessons.
That's that's a lot to think about. I used to do that too, but I ended up, I was doing like 30-minute lessons with like a bunch of kids. So it wasn't even like teaching. It was just kind of like 30-minute increment babysitting. But at one point I was doing 42 of those a week.
That's a lot.
And I was like, man, that's too much.
It's too much, but also like balancing that, like I gig regularly,
Sure. Well, but it's different though, because you're likely teaching people that are there because they want to be there. You've weeded out the people that are there because their mom or dad wants.
Yeah,
because
my age group is like 18 and up generally.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I would imagine that is significantly more rewarding than.
It especially like when you're really helping somebody get to where they want to go and they want to be there.
Yeah. That's exactly.
It's cool.
I had like I think 3 or 4 out of the 42 that were like legit and like making progress. And so I was holding on to that. But
yeah, dude, I mean, it's cool when like you have like a young person who's passionate and they like legit trust.
I remember being that young person.
They trust you, like your opinions, your thoughts, your ways of approaching music, and help them get to where they want to be, But, I'm doing a lot of teaching. Doing a lot of gigs, playing around town mainly. I'm traveling here and there.
Sure.
But then doing a lot of session work remotely at the house, which has been great. You know? So as we all.
It's a blessing. It's not as cool as like live in the room with everybody talking about the chart.
I would way rather be in a studio.
Totally.
Because then you don't have to engineer the whole thing yourself.
Exactly. But
it's cool though. It's a good skill to have.
I was about to say it's an extremely helpful skill and tool.
Yeah.
Lyndon is, I'm sure, tired of answering all the different questions that I have. A substantial clip every day. Every person that I know that's a better engineer than me gets multiple text messages about engineering every day.
Yeah. I mean,
that's how you do that with like Shay or somebody?
Well, not so much Shay because he just doesn't ever respond anymore. So fuck Shay Henley. But
if you're watching.
Yeah, no, he's not. But fuck him anyway.
I didn't say it. He said it.
I did say it.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
No, Shay engineered the Brian Allen podcast. Actually, he's currently working for Morgan Wallen. He's like he's the track rig guy.
Gotcha.
And drum tech or whatever.
Morgan Wallen has a great guitar player, Tyler.
Oh yeah, that guy kills.
Oh my god.
What's his name?
Tyler Tomlinson.
I think it's Tomlinson.
Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Beast.
I don't know.
Dude, I'll show you after. I'll send it to you right now.
Send it. I don't.
Super killing.
Yeah, I won't watch it right now, but.
Because we're doing a podcast.
That would be, yeah.
Apparently.
Welcome back to Gear and Beer with the Hattiesburg Hammer, Mr. Adam McPhail.
I don't know if I like that nickname.
Hey man, it's hammering away, bro.
Lyndon, what do you think? We're both from Hattiesburg. Like, why can't like?
He's the Hattiesburg Hammer.
Like the.
I'm a Talladega.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. You're from Alabama.
What?
You said you're a Talladega?
Oh, well, there's a model of Hamer guitars called the Talladega.
Oh, yeah. I did not know that. I just know
Hamer's like an 80s brand of guitar, am I right?
They first came out in the 70s.
But they had a lot of big, like, 80s shred guitars.
Yeah.
They kind of went that route. I
have a Charvel from the 80s at my house. A Model 2.
I don't know the model.
1986. It's like the single pickup.
80s Charvel. Oh, yeah. Is it like
so cool.
pink or something?
I got the off-white one.
Oh, okay.
It's so cool.
Oh, yeah, the off-white. That is
I haven't
a cool
played
color.
it really ever.
Maple plank, I presume?
It's like the back is maple and the fretboard's rosewood.
Oh.
But the neck is literally like that thin. It's like the thinnest neck you've ever. It's like 16 down the whole fretboard or something,
That's like those. Ibanez around the same time had one of those guitars with like a super thin neck that had like a metal plate between two slabs of wood down it. I think Campanovo has one, or he used to. They're weird, but they play great.
It's like just the epitome of a shred guitar.
Right.
One volume, one bridge pickup, one volume, no tone, nothing. Just wide open is your only option. It's kind of weird.
Narrows it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm always a fan of fewer things to turn and tweak. Like
that's why when I got that pedal, or really both of those, the Strymon Big Sky and the Boss DD500, because I was like, I'm into gear and stuff, but not as much as like some people, you know.
Sure, like this podcast.
So many knobs. I'm like overwhelmed, kind of.
Well, gear doesn't have to be that. That is one iteration, but I don't subscribe to it. I like also
simple,
do.
Yeah.
I do have the Big Sky, but like, I mean, you can see the pedals that are on my board. That's pretty. They're pretty straightforward, man. Yeah. Like, I'm of the turn it till it sounds good school of pedals and amps and guitars. That's what I do.
Speaking of which, that amp that I played, I think the
Woolly Coats Extra Spanky.
have to buy one.
It's a really good amp. The more I play it, the more I like it. I've done it in a lot of different scenarios. It's extremely versatile. It's the right volume almost
How many
no
watts
matter what.
Is it?
I think it's 28.
Really? So it's more than a
Deluxe
Reverb.
Deluxe Reverb's 22, right?
I don't actually.
I would imagine it's.
Can you look
less.
that up?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, because I cannot remember.
Let's fact check him.
I think that at Princeton is 18, and I wanted to say that was 10 watts more. It's definitely more. It's 20 something.
I believe it.
I'd say
the model is the Extra Spanky.
I believe so. Okay. Yes. Or no, not I believe so. That is what it is. In fact.
So Woolly Coats, if you're listening.
Yeah, Delana.
Please.
I've been.
Endorse me or whatever.
I've been wanting to get her on here.
Who's that?
Delana, the builder, the owner.
Oh, really? You know her?
Yeah, I've met her before. You know Ford Thurston? He's been on this podcast as a friend. One time, me and podcast guest number 4, Justin Butler, and podcast guest number 28, Ren Anderson, and Delana, and podcast guest number 25, Ford Thurston. Sorry, I just had to. We're all hanging out at Von Elrod's in Germantown, and that's where I met her.
Word.
Hey, that Woolly Coats, are you able to change settings between 6V6 and 6L6?
I don't know.
Okay, so this is saying that there's variable wattage.
Yeah, so there's a stage and a studio.
Oh, so that is what it is. One's got 6V6, the other 6L6.
Oh, okay.
So 6V6 side is 20 watts, 6L6 side is 30 watts.
Oh, it's 30. Okay.
Yeah.
And it has both?
It has both.
I think so,
wow. 30 watt, that's good.
That's what this is. There are very different 30 watts.
Yeah. Yeah,
because this is one of the loudest amps ever.
Headroom.
Yeah, it's definitely a Fendery 30 watts and not a Class
I have a Hot
amp.
Rod Deluxe modded, and it's 40 watts, and it is the loudest amp you'll ever.
Yeah, those amps are loud as shit.
It is ridiculous.
Man, I have had such terrible experience with those on backline because it's like the tubes are just limping along.
Oh yeah,
and so it's just harsh and hairy.
Those things like
band name called it.
If you get a good one and like you know it and you mod it or you hang on to it, it can be great. But a lot of them are like total lemons. You know, I've noticed that like they are the most inconsistent amp.
I mean,
ever.
Backline in general is not well.
But even not even
Backline,
just like the amp in general, right? Like
really,
you plug in one, it's great. You plug in another one, it's like
I've heard people sound good through them. I have never personally had the
my
pleasure.
Black amp that I play. It's got like black grill cloth and the purple light on it. That's a Hot Rod. But I changed I put casters on it and I changed the speaker and like changed out some of the components. Not like crazy mods, but it's one of my favorite amps, you know, especially if I'm playing like a more like jazz gig where I need some bottom end, you know, like totally. So I'll play like my D'Angelico, like hollow body.
Yeah.
Like I play with a guy here in town, Ty Bailey. He was playing keys for Katy Perry for a long time. He just moved here, but we do an organ trio gig and my hollow body into that, you know, Hot Rod is like amazing, you know.
How long ago did he move here? Was he doing the Vegas residency with her?
No, he left right when she decided.
Well, I was telling you earlier that I was out in Vegas, and she was doing her residency there, and Tony Royster Jr. came over and sat in with us at the bar right outside after a rehearsal one day. Wow. And he wanted to play Smells Like Teen Spirit, and he played the shit out of it. It was awesome.
He's very good.
He is. And was like, Tony Royster's here. He wants to play Smells Like Teen Spirit? Okay.
There's a video of Tony when he's like 10 years old or something, the one that on YouTube.
Yeah, the one. Yeah,
that was like
one of several, but.
Yeah, like the one.
Yeah.
Growing up, that's like, I watched that so many times.
Dude, I remember back. I remember when, was it Modern Drummer? Is that the name of the magazine? When they first came online, they had this cache of like videos that they didn't know what to do with, and so they just put them up online. They had all these John Blackwell and like all these just like guys that you at the time weren't going to be able to find footage of, and I lived on that shit for a minute, man. I love that thing. Deer and beer. Okay, so welcome back to Gear and Beer. Today, the Hattiesburg Hammer, Mr. Adam McPhail. Oh, I forgot that you don't.
I think if you said McNail, it would have really topped
the nickname. I'm not sold on, but let's continue.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we'll find it.
In progress. Welcome back to In Progress with Adam McPhail. No, so you brought your little board for the jam, but you were saying that you had another board, and we were actually talking about just the way that
the order,
the reverb before the delay.
So I don't often have them both on.
Copy.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's a lot of wetness.
The way I have this set up, like I said, I was doing a gig with Scott Mulvihill. We were doing the Graceland tribute show to the whole album, right?
Oh, okay.
And I didn't need all my pedals, but I needed that delay pedal, right? So I took it off my big board and then just threw it out to the side of my small board. And then after that gig, I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I just started doing it,
Well, so you just noticed that it had a vibe that you liked, or did you notice anything specifically about sending verb into delay?
Well, like I was saying, I don't
Quick poll, Lyndon. Verb into delay or delay into verb?
Definitely delay into verb.
Okay. That's how I always do it. But like I'm saying, like I don't really do them at the same time.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't the only one.
No, you're right, because on my other board, that's how I do it. This was like a last minute just thing I did. And then if you don't run them at the same time, it doesn't really matter where they're placed.
Sure.
But
have you tried sending it like a verb into a delay?
I have, and I mean, depending on the setting, it can
for like
be fine.
Big ambience, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
Make that
it doesn't
big
really
of a
matter.
Difference.
Yeah. I do it.
Fair enough. That's cool.
I don't have to conform to the way the pedal gods say that I have to do it.
That's totally true. Pete Cornish can fuck right off with his orders and suggestions.
That kind of aggressive.
No, I'm just kidding. That guy makes great pedals. I would love to get his fuzz pedal. You guys are presumably familiar with the John Mayer Crossroads cover.
Yes.
That's a Pete Cornish fuzz pedal.
Like a fuzz.
It's the best sounding fuzz pedal I have ever heard. That's the best recorded fuzz tone for my personal taste that I
got really excited.
It's so good. I want one, but they're like $700 for a pedal that I'll need once every 6 months.
Yeah, I'll
get one day.
There's another fuzz out there that would do, right?
No, I don't. I don't feel like I feel like you either run into, and I by no means tried every fuzz pedal. I think I only own one currently, the Earthquaker Dirt Transmitter, and I actually have it on my baseboard to do kind of like a synthy thing with the Octaver, but like it sounds great by itself, but it sits in a mix horrible.
Yeah.
That's the problem with a lot of fuzzes. You turn them on by themselves, it's like, oh my God, yeah, that sounds great. Then you turn them on at the gig, it's like, oh shit, somebody unplugged my amp.
Yeah, or like something is
it just disappears, man.
Yeah.
It just disappears. So, and like they have certain EQ options, but like the Tone Bender and the Dallas Arbiter, like it's like a knob, and similar to another thing that I kind of get soapboxy about, tube screamers. Tube screamer into a... So here's what I've learned recently, and you guys can tell me that I'm an idiot or whatever. From what I understand, the thing that a tube screamer is best at is like into a super reverb, which I've never owned or even actually ever played. I've never played a super. Have you played a super?
Yes.
Lyndon, have you played a super?
No.
Well, I haven't either. So apparently, like, they were desirable for guys who played supers, which is what everyone played back in the day because it was one of the few Fender amps that volume-wise, other than a Twin, could compete with bandstand volumes and bar scenes and stuff.
The guys who play supers turn them up all the way.
Yeah, like trucks and all those guys. And it's
or now, like the small club attenuators, right? You put that on it, crank it, you can play it. Like the guy I played, Mike Grannon, I think. I did pitch meeting last night. He's a great slide player.
Yeah, this fool play with Tommy Sims and
Tommy Sims.
Oh, so you know McKenna?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's great.
And Felty was playing percussion, right?
Yep. Last night was great.
I love that guy.
But the slide player had a super reverb, and it was, cranked, but had the attenuator on. But he ran
Was it like
pedals.
a tone king?
No.
Or Tone Master? Or was it a real one?
It was a real one.
So what was he using for attenuation?
He had
like a Variax?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Or like the Sur one?
Wasn't the Sur? It was like some yellow one.
Might have been is it a radial? Is radials?
It wasn't radial. I don't know, to be honest with you, but I just know he ran
Lyndon,
it.
If you wouldn't mind making a note about a yellow attenuation box. I feel like I've seen it, but I can't think of what it is, and I would like to know.
It sounded so good, but I feel like if you really wanted that edge, like you put a tube screamer on top of that, and then you're just like blues.
So that's the deal, apparently, because every time I've tried to use them, that was a long story short. Every time I've tried to use them, I hate them.
Yeah,
they sound like they go from this to this.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a crank tube amp, like blues situation for me.
Well, yeah, but
I've never like I gave mine away. That tells you
I've bought and sold many,
and I gave it away to my friend Layla.
Which one?
The tube screamer.
Which one? There's 3 different iterations. TS909, TS808, TS9.
Yes.
TS9. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the original one.
Yep. And I didn't really care, but then I was kind of like, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But then I'm like, I could just buy one whenever. Yeah. I like giving friends things,
That's good. You should do that. That
comes back around,
I watched an Instagram video the other day of Shaq talking about, it was like of Shaq like walking up behind some kid in line with his mom at Walmart, and he just taps him on the shoulder, and this kid turns around, and the largest human in the world is standing there. And he goes, "You got a bike?" And the kid's like, "No." And he's like, "Let's go get a bike." And he just buys a kid a bike, and then they're interviewing him, and he says, he's like, "Yeah, I can't hold on to all this. Every time I go out, I try to bless somebody. I buy somebody's dinner, buy somebody something at the store." He's like, I got to pay it forward. That's what I got to do.
Yeah.
And it's just another reason to love Shaquille O'Neal. That guy, first of all, he's hilarious. But isn't that awesome, though?
Yeah,
Hear
it is.
about guys with that level of success that are still kind of grounded to a certain extent.
That's awesome.
It is cool.
Dig it.
So good. My point is good on you for doing that and gifting people stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you accumulate so much stuff, and then it's like, why not? Like, if you don't need something, like, let somebody borrow it forever.
I'm with you, man. Let people borrow stuff. I don't know that I can ever get rid of stuff. I'm a gear hoarder, as this room probably says, but you just never know, man. Everything does something different, especially like in this environment where most often I'm by myself trying to be creative or whatever. Like sometimes you just like got to plug into something else and make it sound different and be like, oh yeah, there it is. And like whether it has anything to do with the pedal or not,
Yeah. Now though, it's kind of hard for me to get rid of stuff, more on the
you
guitar.
Ever sold guitars?
End,
Yeah.
No.
I can't do that.
I don't. If I buy it, I pretty much.
I sold one bass and I've regretted it ever since.
When I was like in high school, I traded a lot of guitars and I regret every single thing today, But honestly, at the time, like maybe early college, like high school, like I needed the money because I would buy gear and trade up, like it was kind of like a money source in a way.
Totally.
But now I'm looking back, I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have traded it or sold it or whatever. But at the time, I kind of needed to.
Yeah, but say it probably got you where you were trying to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though you had to get rid of something that you would otherwise have wanted to keep.
Because I've owned so many guitars, like Ibanez's or Jackson's or Gibson's or Epiphones, just like down the line, Right. And I have a good collection now, but it would have been a lot bigger,
So I was going to ask you, this is presumably this is one I see you playing in most of the pictures that I see you playing. If you take a different guitar, what guitar do you take? So this is your Sir,
like I have a
HSS.
Yeah, I have a lot of guitars at home. This is like the Strat that gets the most call. But if I'm playing like more of like a jazz gig, I'll be on like my D'Angelico
you mentioned
XL,
that.
Mini
Right.
XL, hollow body. And then I have another blue Strat that I like to play a lot.
Is it got a black pick guard on it?
No, it's got like a white perloid, and it's like a parts caster. It's got like a.
Is it the one that you used to play? I could have sworn it had a black.
Well, it has a black Floyd Rose.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
And it's just like random parts. It's like a Mexican like deluxe something body, deluxe players or something, and then it's like an American neck. And then it's got like Spurzell locking tuners, but then a Floyd Rose, which is kind of pointless because they're both locking,
Sure,
It's like a locking nut and then locking tuners, and it's got like the DiMarzio. That's why I changed these, because the other guitar had the DiMarzio tone zone.
Oh, yeah.
And then just a bunch of random stuff, but it's crazy. I was living in Hattiesburg. I worked at a shop called Mississippi Music in high school.
Oh, I worked there.
Really?
No. I worked at
C&M?
C&M, yeah.
Oh, got you. So we were rivals, I guess.
You
just
guys,
like our high schools.
You guys have just been at each other's throats since you got here.
We got beef.
Fucking Oak Grove. Jesus Christ, man.
But
typical.
Yeah. So I was working at this guitar shop, and some guy had like basically pawned the guitar off. Like, I got that guitar with a flight case, like really nice hard case, for like $200 or something.
Oh yeah.
That's like, I paid like $250, and that was like after employee discount, And it was like a guitar with like $1,300, $1,400 worth of parts.
I was about to say, it's hard to get the case for that.
And a case, And
it's like a $300 case.
The cheapest guitar I've ever paid for, but it's like one of the best,
That's awesome.
But then I
love those.
At the house, like doing session work, like I've got like a Gibson Les Paul and like a Epiphone Les Paul that's, customed out, and I've got like baritones and various acoustics and things like that,
Hell yeah. You gotta every session requires something different, so the more it's just like,
I'm still collecting, like I've got 22 now.
It's like, yes, you can paint with blue, but can you paint with royal blue and light
every
blue
variation
and dark
of it,
blue, exactly.
And I've got my Squire Strat, which
it's hard to explain
great.
that to people who aren't doing that. Like,
they're like, why do you need so many? It's like,
it's like, well,
because I do.
Well, and then you plug it in, and you're like, well, this one sounds like this, and you're like, and this one sounds like this, and they're like, I just hear
pedals
guitar.
only go so far, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just need different guitar.
Totally, man. And the combinations is like,
stacking, like you got the Strat playing the one part, and then the Les Paul, like it's like you're multiple people,
Yeah, you get that that natural flam thing going
exactly.
on.
You got the two different tones,
Totally.
And they're EQ different after the mix, like different spots,
Totally, man. So also I was noting, I remember that Jekyll and Hyde, the True Tone pedal, from just every time I think I've ever seen you play. Do you have another one on your other board as well?
Yeah, I have that, and I have like an SL drive, and then like a boost pedal. I have a few distortion pedals, but that's the one I gravitate towards, was the Jekyll and Hyde.
That one does a lot, man.
It's really cool. They're a company out of Spring Hill, Tennessee, and I'm endorsed by those guys. Zach Childs is a good friend of mine. Really great company, They make really, really good stuff. But I've been playing that pedal for like 3 or 4 years now. So it's like a stack,
Okay, so you can you send them in either direction?
You can.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, Tony used to play on one of those. You talking about the Jekyll?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I actually do it backwards.
Campanovo?
Yep.
Really? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
This was like 2008 or 9.
Oh wow. You know Tony Campanovo?
Mm-mm.
He's an amazing guitar player, friend of ours. Been on the show.
Yeah, you guys should go bowling.
You guys should go bowling, man.
Or play guitar together. He's very good.
He's extremely good. He's a Line 6 and Yamaha product rep and specialist.
Oh, okay.
And he went to UNT as well.
Yeah, he went to UNT.
Nice. Same year as you?
Some of them. Well, I think we had about 2 or 3 years of overlap.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Tony is like he's extreme. He's kind of you know who Ben Younson is?
Yeah.
So he's kind of like not as like balls to the wall as that guy, but he's got those kinds of chops and like that kind of theory thing going on, you know.
That Ben dude, he's
crazy. I saw some video of him like playing over giant steps at 340 or something the other day. It was just like, that's not a useful skill.
But he's so good at it.
He is
crazy good at it.
It's just machine gun guitar, but he's making the changes. It's insane.
Doesn't he play for Intervals now? I think that guy's been playing. Do you know Intervals? It's kind of like yeah.
I know of it. I don't know what it is.
Okay, it's a band. Oh, you know of Intervals?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of music it is.
It's like that Plenty style, like
Okay,
very,
so
very like
it's
Plenty.
a guitar-y band.
Yeah. Animals as leaders, sort of in that vein.
Time signature,
heavy math, metal.
It's like right down the alley of what that guy's good at.
Right on.
Anyway,
welcome back to Gear and Beer. No, I'm just kidding. We've been here for a while. Sorry, man. We're just having fun.
Have a great time.
Okay.
Guitars. A lot of guitars. You have a lot of guitars. He probably has a lot of guitars.
He does. We all do. I play a lot of bass gigs, but I have a lot of guitars.
I've been tracking bass recently a lot, and I have this like jazz bass, 5-string. It's tuned to low A though, like A standard.
So it's down
for
a
the
whole
gospel.
step.
Yeah,
that's very.
I need like
common.
a P bass. Like I need like a 4-string. Just that's what I'm in the market for.
P bass.
Currently. You got one for sale?
Not for sale.
You got one for sale?
No, a P bass for sale? No.
There's so many P basses for sale on the internet.
I have a P bass. That is my only
Facebook
bass.
Marketplace. I know, but it'd be nice to find a friend with one. You know,
they're great, man.
You got a friend.
It's easier that way sometimes.
It can be.
You know the instrument's good. You know,
well, especially when it comes to an instrument like amps.
Instead
and
of like
pedals
randomly meeting somebody and having to play it for 5 minutes, and you're like, okay,
you're like, hey, bro, meet me at Walmart. Let me sit in your trunk and play this.
Yeah. Let's both get in the trunk and we'll play the P bass. Make a decision together.
Is it cool if I bring a generator and my Ampeg SVT with fridge cabinet to try this
Walmart
out?
Parking lot.
Yeah.
I've tried microphones out in Starbucks before.
Have you really?
Yeah, that Neumann clone, that 87 clone that I have, or 47 clone, whatever it is. Yeah, it's like a tube mic, and I met this guy, Steve Diamond, the guy who wrote.
King Diamond. I love King Diamond.
No, what was that? What was that song I told you he wrote? It was like some '90s hit. Anyway, super nice guy, but we went to the back of a Starbucks.
Breakfast
and
at
like
Tiffany's.
Plugged in. I plugged in
something.
like a little interface. I plugged in the mic. Just like
And
opened
recorded
up
the coffee being made.
and like we were like testing it out, trying different. People were looking at us like, "What the hell is going on?"
You're like,
Now, look at these
don't
two
worry about it.
dorks.
That's what they always say.
Yeah, I get it. That's fine. That's cool though, and very, very geary. Not so much beery, but
That's geary.
There's beer going on.
no, there's beer here. But I meant at your coffee shop mic testing session.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's pretty funny. Is that in Chicago?
That was here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Starbucks over off Rosa Parks. Over by my first house.
No.
Over by the monastery. There's a monastery.
There's one right by my house too. Like as soon as you go out of my neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah. Borderline Antioch, but I'm as far east as you can go.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is, yeah. You live on the other lake.
Yes.
Thanks
Priest.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah. We still cool?
Oh, we're cool, bro.
All right.
Yeah, I'm cool. I
didn't know if there was
anywhere.
a weird competition of lakes here. I don't know.
Hey, man, I don't know what lake set you claim, but around here we're Old Hickory to death, son.
I like it out here when it's not pouring rain and nighttime.
It is nighttime, and it was pouring rain. I cannot say whether it is or it is not currently.
Maybe he could tell us.
I think we would hear it.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think we're good, too. I hope that we're good.
Well, you're good because you're home.
That's also true. I was thinking about going to Flamingo. You ever go hang out there? You know Jimmy Green?
Yeah. He's awesome.
He is awesome. I
mean, those are all my friends.
Sunday.
I just don't go to jams a lot, you know?
I've only been knowing about that one for a couple of months.
It's been going on for a while.
I just never remember to go.
I hear it's cool.
That's what everyone says. I see clips of it, and it is cool on Instagram.
Yeah.
I was going to try to go out to that tonight. Today is Wednesday. We most often do the Tuesday thing, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. But
your podcast?
Yeah, like when we do it, we try to do it. Tuesday just seems to be
for those.
No, you didn't cancel.
Well,
you had something awesome.
You had
to play with one of
who wrote "Change the World," Eric Clapton,
Babyface.
Yeah, just all kind of everything.
I thought he and Babyface wrote that.
It might have been. I don't know.
I think it's him and Babyface.
Well, I know he. Yeah,
I mean,
he's
which
awesome,
makes
dude.
Or maybe it was that Babyface produced Clapton's version of it. That's what it is. That's what I'm thinking of.
No, didn't Pitch Meeting had the guy who wrote "Change the World"?
Yeah, Tommy Sims. He played that gig last night.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to say that's got to be the one you were on.
Yeah,
and that was Felty was playing percussion. Who else was in that band? What's that bass player's name? I forget.
Eric.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's great. Awesome guy.
Who played drums?
Liam something. I just met these guys last night. I don't know.
Is that the dude with long hair?
Yeah. He's solid, dude.
Yeah, I haven't heard him play.
And then Mike Gannon on slide. Yeah, everybody was solid.
Where does that happen? I keep hearing about it, but
Sonny's.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Nashville.
Germantown.
Where?
No, north.
Where am I?
Ish.
Where am I?
Right.
I know where Germantown is. Okay. Is it every Tuesday?
Mm-hmm. That's my first time playing it last night.
Because Horace was on the podcast, and he was here to do Pitch Meeting.
Horace Bray. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Who also went to UNT. Good friend.
Yeah. There's some really good guitar players in the world.
That's very true.
He was there at the same time as me and Tony.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's maybe a little bit younger.
Yeah, I think he's definitely younger than... I mean, you are younger than Tony. Tony is older than I am.
Yeah, but Tony left school and came back for a degree. Just kind of finishing education student or whatever.
Sure. He went back and learned how to shred. That's not true. He already knew how to do that.
I was going to say he already knew how to shred.
Because grad school will teach you that.
Tony's if you spend all your days trying to be able to play this song up to what's his name's standards, and then you get in there and you think you're killing, and you probably are, and what's his name? Fred Hamilton?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he's like, not good enough. And then he's just fucking with you basically, but he's just that's what I've heard is that he'll tell you it's not good enough.
Who's this?
Oh, he was the guitar professor.
Is it Noel now?
No, it is
Dave. Noel adjunct?
Dave Mooney.
Oh, okay.
Noel's adjunct.
You know Noel Johnston?
I've seen.
Great player.
Noel Johnston is a fucking astronaut, bro.
Yeah.
Noel Johnston is actually the creator of the name of this podcast.
Really?
Yes. He used to do a hang at his house. First of all, he brews beer, but he used to do hangs that were called Gear and Beer, and it was just people would come to his house and bring cool stuff, and they would hang out and check stuff out and drink beer that he brewed.
That's awesome.
That was.
Did he ever do this one?
No, he's not, because he's not been here, at least to my knowledge.
Gotcha.
I would love to get him on here. He is just a beast. He's got an awesome couple of like instructional books out there. Voicing Modes is one of them. I forget the one that he just more recently released. I don't think I even have that one yet.
I'll find it and put a link in there.
Yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. It's for the extremely heady, because it is very in depth.
It's deep.
It's very in depth and almost like a philosophical look at harmony. It's like, yes, this is this, but is it also this? Kind of you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll check it out.
Some of my favorite.
Buy the book.
Yes.
And I'm going to come over.
You should. Hey, yeah. I got the book. You can just come over and hang out, and then we'll just tag Noel in a video of us playing his etudes.
That's some nerdy guitar stuff we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine, man. That's, that's what we're here for. So another thing that I wanted to ask you. So you mentioned that you've been playing with Ty Tribbett, or you played?
I played with him once.
Oh, just once?
I got called to play for him. Yeah, that was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. When was that?
So this was a few months back at Mount Zion Church.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Down in Antioch?
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, this is the one, their main campus, off Old Hickory, more out west.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I used to play with Kersel, that church that we played at, that I sent you that video from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kersel's out at Faith Life on Bellevue Road.
Yeah.
Now, I used to play there a lot.
I used to play there too.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I like playing with Kendall.
Yeah, he's cool, and
he's
Kersel's
so cool.
Awesome. And
Kersel's one of the best singers I've ever heard in my life, man. He just his range just keeps going. It's like, who are you? How do you do that?
Kersel is a beast.
He is a beast. And he's a beast.
But he likes
to
just kind of be back in the cut too, like for like a lead man,
Yeah.
Like he doesn't like a lot of attention, I feel like, but he's got it.
You heard him play keys, I'm sure. He's like, I have to think about what chord it is he's playing to tell you if you're asking him, but like he can just blast through. It's just like natural.
Yeah.
Gospel changes, like not simple harmony.
He went to Berkeley, I think.
Did he?
I think so. I think he went to school with like Maureen Murphy.
Really?
Yeah.
I
think.
That.
Could be completely wrong.
I'm pretty sure he's from Dallas.
Huh.
Because we connected about the Cowboys and other Dallas things before.
Yeah.
He's either from Dallas or he's from Texas and he's a Cowboys fan. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, yeah.
Now one of my students plays guitar there.
What's his name?
Tina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I teach him at Belmont.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kersel called me, and every time he called me for like the last 2 years, I was playing guitar. So I showed up with a guitar, and he's like, "Oh, I meant bass." It's like, "Oh, I don't have one." And then your boy was there, so Kendall and I went and dug
a bass out of the closet or something.
Yeah, the youth area. It was a beater. Let me just tell you.
4-string.
Yeah, it was like a.
Did you tune it down?
No, I played it
E standard 4-string. Dig it.
You
can get away with that.
I went old school quartet, bro. Yeah.
Old school, you can do that.
That's the way it goes.
Deer and beer.
So, Adam, I've got some questions here for you. Allow me to pull them up on my tiny Palm computer.
Those do a lot in the world.
They do. They control everyone's brains. They're
their emotions.
They're a great place to get recipes.
Great place for somebody to steal your bank account.
They're just a great place for. It doesn't matter what you're into, really.
Yeah.
Our phone's a great place to get it on.
All ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
Yes. Amen to that.
Mostly bad, probably.
The first of the gear and beer questions is and will always be Metallica or Megadeth.
Metallica.
So I should say these are going to be a series of either or questions,
Great.
And then we'll
keep them coming,
and then we'll go off of that.
Cool.
Okay. Miles or Coltrane?
Miles.
Matheny or Schofield?
Honestly,
that was the most awkward beer drinking movement anyone has ever.
It was loud.
You hinged from your hips to drink it.
That's because I was trying to avoid.
That was like a whole thing.
It was so bad that I had to stop down and talk about it because someone was going to call it. Because we
all thought about it.
Everybody's like,
I kind of saw it peripherally, and I was like, that was a little weird.
It was pretty weird. Welcome back.
Matheny,
Matheny or Schofield is the question we have asked the Hattiesburg Hammer, Mr. Adam McPhail.
I'm not responding to that. I'm not owning that nickname.
A hammer signifies being in
Even
charge
if it's an
and
endearing
doing
term, I appreciate it, but
you're doing work.
It's got these.
That's what it means.
Okay.
Hammers do work, bro.
Yeah. Thank you.
You ever done work? Use hammers for those.
Yeah.
Mr. Adam McPhail does work. He's the Hattiesburg Hammer.
Anyways,
it's a hard question.
It is hard.
They're very different.
I'm sitting here going through different phases of my life in my head. I'm trying to think
about which records you can live without more easily.
I'm gonna say Matheny.
There's no wrong answers to any of these questions.
I just saw his concert at the Skirmahorn the other night.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. So I'm kind of in that.
I heard that was really, really good.
It was.
He had young cats playing with him, right?
Very young.
Man, I think that there's like eras of Matheny's career that I like less than any other era of
watercolors and New Chautauqua and that kind of stuff.
As Wichita Falls, so Falls, Wichita Falls or something. It's like some super long weird name, and like that era is not my favorite, but the eras that are good, I think, were more influential for me as a guitar player than any of John Scofield's stuff. But John Scofield is a huge influence and also like got amazing stuff. And consistently
Scofield's
amazing.
grown on me in my old age.
Yeah. I think it's like Scofield's like songwriting that's just like, I don't know, just like sometimes the simple major chords and just the way he like makes it this
he's
modern.
A little swankier.
Yeah. It's
especially on the later albums.
It's like
he's got a different kind of like hip swag, whereas Matheny just has like in what's the word I'm looking for? It's like I don't know what it is. He's like wills you into knowing what he's doing is cool.
Yeah.
Well, he's got like all these crazy colors, like One Quiet Night, or I mean, to go even from like the Pat Metheny group stuff, it's like a crazy shift. It still sounds like him, you know. He's
or when he turns on that fake flute.
But then it's like Schofield, like I feel like the more bluesy-ish type bending,
go-go,
the chorus, I don't know. That's a tough question.
That's a tough one.
And
but to be honest, I didn't get deep into either one of those guys.
Really?
You know? But just listening over the years, you know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah.
Neither one of them were guys like I've done a transcription of both of them, but not like neither one of them were like people that I like studied like hardcore.
Sure,
you know?
Sure. Yeah, well, they're so unique. It's almost like how beneficial is learning how to play like that? Because you play something that sounds like Schofield and it just sounds like Schofield, and if you try to cop Pat Metheny's tone or something, it's like that just sounds like Pat Metheny's.
Just try to be yourself.
Tone.
You know,
exactly. You can take lines from people, and that's fine. Everyone should do
what
that.
I like doing at this point in my life is taking like more of the concept, you know, like learn a lick kind of, you know, and then just change it.
I do that
figuring out the function.
It's like, okay, I hear kind of what he's doing. I'm not going to spend the hour or two that it takes to like.
Dude, that's actually a huge part of my practice now. Is like, I mean, you know, scales and warming up and. You know, that stuff or whatever material I have to
tapping
learn.
And sweeping,
finger tapping, eruption, you know. And all 12 keys, right?
But I do a lot of that, man. Like I'll just go on YouTube and like, or Spotify, find
tag us in all your eruptions videos in all 12 keys.
Oh my god,
I'll take it in E flat first.
We should do a challenge that should be a podcast challenge.
Gear and Beer.
That would be interesting.
Gear and Beer Podcast Eruption Challenge in any key but the original key.
Which would have been
without detuning your
A
guitar.
or A flat. Was he tuned down?
It was down.
Yeah, A flat.
But
Who's up for it?
Probably nobody, because that's not possible. Next question.
Let's get on here.
Jocko or John Paul Jones?
Jocko.
Those are two. Do you know who John Paul Jones is?
Yeah, but I'm more familiar with Jocko. You know,
a lot of people don't know who John Paul Jones is, and I've put it on myself to bring awareness to John Paul Jones. For
elaborate on him. I definitely don't know as much.
Well, that's the bass player from Zeppelin.
Yeah. Okay.
So he has some of the coolest concepts, lines, feels, and just general phrasing and everything that I've ever heard. And because he's in Led Zeppelin, you never hear anything about him because you hear about everyone else from Led Zeppelin. So it's like guilt, anonymity by association.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But take, for instance, the Zeppelin song When the Levee Breaks. Mm-hmm. There's a B part where the guitars are going flat 6, flat 7, 4 1, 5 1, 4 1. I forget what the chords are, but it's doing one thing, and the bass is playing flat 3, so it's flat 6 over flat 3, flat 7 over 4, and then the bass is walking up to flat 7.
Playing like the fifth of the chord, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like everybody's on the same page. But what's actually happening is like a really weird inversion of power chords.
Yeah.
And it's so cool, man. And the A part, it's just like a minor 1 chord, and the bass line is going flat 3 1 1 major 7 flat 3 1 1 major 7 flat 3 1 1 1 1 4 8 flat 3 4 flat 3 1 1 major 7. It's so weird, dude. And like
that was great podcast content that you just threw out there.
No, I
want you to zoom in on his face.
Well, first of all, I'm doing all the editing, so I'm gonna look great in this.
Okay.
Second of all, iMovie cannot do that.
Yeah, iMovie is a pretty limited. It can do stuff,
it's
but
like
it also can.
The stock one, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a good one, but that's just here's my whole deal.
This guy.
Once I get that,
then
I have to learn
about
how to use
your
it.
editing program. It's fine.
I'm not insecure about that so much as I am my editing abilities.
I wouldn't be any better, so it's fine.
It would be hard to be worse as well. So, my next question for the Hattiesburg Hammer is jazz or metal?
Metal.
I like that. We don't get enough of that. I think one of the only other people that has ever said metal is a usually jazz guitar player, Lindsay Miller.
I know her. I grew up not playing jazz, so
same.
I'm gonna go with my roots.
I also kind of grew up trying to play it, but not being able to, in like middle school jazz band, and then I was like into Rush and Megadeth and Metallica in high school and Primus.
There's something about the distortion and the thing, you know.
Dude. Like a halftime metal groove breakdown is one of the most fulfilling musical things that can happen.
Yeah.
It's just like so much payoff every time it happens.
When you reach the bridge, you know, the drummer goes to that China.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Like some of my favorite of that stuff, and you know, forgive me for repeating this band's name, but Dying Fetus has some breakdowns.
What's the name again?
Dying Fetus. They have perhaps
I'll link them in the notes.
Perhaps you know them from such songs as "Kill Your Mother, Rape Your Dog."
Cut.
End of episode.
No, it's one of those Cookie Monster death metal bands from the 80s and 90s. sounds horrible, but some of the parts that they came up with, some of their like halftime breakdowns are just so nasty. So on that note,
there wasn't any other example.
Can you come up with a better one?
Necrophagist or something.
Well, so I don't think that's how you say that.
I think it is. What do you think it is?
Necrophagist.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
so
my friends in high school led me astray then.
Well, those people in high school don't know how to say the word
we were
necro.
15.
Necro is definitely the root word there. Necrophilia. Necro meaning dead, if I'm not mistaken, in Latin.
Well, the dude has the fastest double bass pedal in the world, right?
I don't know. The fastest when I think of that thing, there's one record that comes to mind, and that is the original Black Dahlia Murder record. Because I remember seeing a modern drummer, something about that guy's kick drum speed or something. And if you listen to that first record, I think is the only one that drummer played on. Like, that shit on there sounds programmed, bro. Yeah. But I don't think it is.
He's the same way, though.
Those guys are all crazy these days. Everyone has more chops than anyone ever could think about these days.
I know.
There's so many people with so many abilities. And I'm personally thankful for it. Adam McPhail. Live or session?
For me?
I'm not asking Lyndon.
But like me as a player or like
interpret it
industry?
Any way you like. I'm asking you live or session, and that is all the context that I'm willing to give you.
Maybe session for me.
A lot of people's answer. Good answer.
I don't know. It's something about it being like a permanent print, you know? And being proud of something. And the collaboration where it's like
they're very different
time,
animals.
You know, and you can talk and do it multiple times, you know?
It's like
I like it.
Working out a different muscle group than playing live.
Especially when you're like with some of your like buds. Like I just did a session with Jake Botts, really good friend of mine, sax player. He was playing with Kelly Clarkson for a while, and we recorded.
I know that guy.
You know Jake.
Not personally.
Do you remember at Dave Williford's gig the other night? The guy I was sitting with, that's Jake.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, right.
Great.
I know I've seen him on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then
great player. He went to the new school,
Urban.
really good jazz player, really good anything player. And we did 3 of his songs. It was like me and Jake and Ryan Connors and Ian Miller and Howie. It was just like a cool vibe,
Is Ian a bass player?
Ian's a keys player.
A keys player, that's right.
Music director for Brett Eldridge.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But everybody's solid, and but there's, and then the same vibe can happen live, but then the opposite vibes can happen on both of them, Yeah.
Who you're creating with, whether live or session.
At my house is cool.
I love it. I love doing that.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to do. It's one of my favorite things to do. I don't know that.
I like not having to leave and carry gear and things,
Yeah, that definitely sucks.
It's set up.
I don't do enough sessions to require cartage, and without cartage, sessions are definitely a pain in the ass for me, especially because the loadout from this room to my truck is brutal.
Yeah, because you got 2 sets of stairs.
Yeah, you literally have to walk through the entire house. You have to walk through the entire house to get to the car.
Yeah. My new house.
Shout out to this house.
My house. I'm building a house in North Nashville right now. Well, they start March 3rd. But it's a 1-level house, and I'm excited. It's going to make it so much easier.
It's excitable.
Yeah. Because my condo has stairs, and it's like a pain.
Dude, when I lived in Chicago, I lived on the 3rd floor of an apartment, and in the snow in the winter, which is like half of the year, the load-in was just brutal. Like coming home from like a wedding gig at 1 a.m, you have to like temporarily dig your car in, load into the 3rd floor in like snow and ice basically on your boots in a suit, and then go repark a car and then walk back to the apartment. Like sometimes dig yourself into a spot. But that in Chicago, all the apartment buildings are just the flights are winding straight up, and you're just like doing this number, like your shoulders are in, just carrying amps.
Try not to smash your gear on the walls.
Which of course happened all the time.
I could not do that.
It was very unenjoyable. It's one of the reasons
that's why I could never live in New York. I can't take a subway to a gig, and I like being able to park, and like. Yeah.
I like that.
I'm just not.
Yeah,
I respect
absolutely.
people who are built for it. I'm just not.
I'm not built for that dense of a living situation.
Dude, I use a Kemper on the road now, because that's just what our band does as a setup, and it sounds amazing. But it's so much better than having to lug an amp in terms of the load-in.
You just use a monitor.
We have in-ears rig, so we actually have to haul.
So
a bunch
sounds
more.
right.
Oh, dude, it sounds great. It's in stereo.
Yeah.
In stereo.
Michael Britt is a good friend of mine. Michael Britt.
Oh, really?
Guy.
I only use his profiles.
He's awesome.
He's the master.
I was doing a show at Bridgestone, outside of Bridgestone, not Bridgestone, but like it was like I was playing with a band called New North, and it was Big and Rich and Lone Star. We did this like outside concert, and I met Michael there. He's just the nicest guy, and we've hung out. I've gone to his house, and he showed me the profiles. I'm supposed to have bought a Kemper by now, but I haven't. I like them a lot, but I do plan on buying one day. That's one of those things that's
pretty
like
expensive.
It's on the list, and I know it'll happen. It just hasn't happened yet. Like recording, I think the Kemper would be awesome. Because you just have a million amps at the.
Dude, it is excellent for recording because I haven't used any other digital platform that I've not wanted to throw out eventually.
Yeah.
This is the only one where I'm like, I record with it, and in the ears it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, live it sounds great too in a very controlled noise environment.
Yeah.
I would imagine through a monitor.
Yeah, I hear it through like guitar cabs. Anything that's not full range, I hear it.
I
don't take it to Broadway.
I know one dude that plays a Kemper through a guitar speaker in a cab that he built, and it actually sounds so good.
Really?
So good.
Normally,
but that's one
when
dude
I've heard it
out of
good.
Millions
it's
of other
so
ones.
like boxy and like brittle and like
thin and harsh for sure.
It's like, but if you have the full range, like PA.
Exactly.
In ears, I think you're like it's like solid.
A full range speaker doesn't sound good, but in ears or however, some sort of headphone monitoring situation.
Well, especially if you're playing in a venue where the sound guy is really good and the house system is loud, and you're getting that like feeling of air moving anyway.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if you have an amp or not. You know. If you get like, and you're standing on top, like if the subs are under the stage,
or it doesn't matter where the subs are. If they're just actually working, you can feel it.
Yeah.
It affects the way you play bass. Or anyway, so when you get that Kemper,
it's gonna happen.
Are you going to want to play a single coil or a humbucker?
That
was a great transition.
Welcome back to Gear and Beer.
I mean,
mostly beer.
So you're asking me single coil or humbucker?
I'm saying in this stupid scenario, you're having to pick, and you only get one.
Is the humbucker coil tapped?
No, because that makes it a single coil.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go with single coil. A little more character.
I agree.
You got to work for it a little more.
Yep.
Do you ever use a volume pedal?
Yes, occasionally for the gospel, the swells.
So you use it at the front of your everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That was my next question. Before or after gain?
If I put it here, I'll put it right in front of the tuner.
Do you use your volume knob?
I do that more often. I do my whale sounds, my swells like that, because
you can do that on a Strat.
But that one in particular, like that volume knob is like butter. Like it is the easiest,
the perfect gradient for you.
Yes, like it requires no effort. It's just like so smooth.
You don't have anything on this board, but do you have a compressor on your other board? And if so, do you use it live?
I did have a compressor, and no, took it off.
What were you using?
SP.
What does that mean?
It's an
XL,
exotic.
Exotic, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the EP boost.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Same model or line.
Because honestly, like, I don't know, like, the way the old guitar that I had, the blue Strat, it like sounded compressed, like without it. Like I would play so many gigs and people would be like, "Are you running a compressor?" And I'm like, "No." People even ask me that now.
That's crazy because single coils are the opposite of compressed. They only get louder the harder you play them.
You get compression from certain PCB components, and you get compression from running tubes at a certain saturation. So maybe it's just the combination of how you're running your rig.
But I think it might be in the tone of your in your hands. Like,
that's what I was more thinking. Like I think
you have a really scooped tone.
The way I play, like I just get that question a lot. Like people ask me, "Do I run a compressor?" or "Hey, what compressor are you using?" And I'm like, I'm not.
No compressor for me.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, because I like that.
What
Niles
pick do you
Rodgers,
use?
A Jazz 3.
Okay. Man, I can't get used to those, dude. Both of you guys use those.
1.14.
Okay, I like those too. I also like the 1.5s.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Ultex 1.14?
Is that the red one?
No, it's like the like PP yellow see-through looking ones.
No.
Oh yeah, I stole one of those from you. They're great.
They're a really cool sound.
These are like...
Oh, do you just use it all the time, every time?
Pretty much.
Even on like an acoustic?
I'll do acoustic. I'll go to like a lighter Dunlop, like a 70, whatever.
I definitely use
the yellow one.
I definitely use way
one?
different picks for acoustic
or the light
tracking.
gray one.
So you're still using the nylon?
Yeah.
Okay.
But for electric, it's like these.
Oh, I hate
those. Those are nylon as well, aren't they?
These are Tortex.
They're okay.
Yeah. Because there's different Jazz 3s. These are like the pitch black.
Yeah.
Ones.
Can I see that?
Well, there's not the thing you wore.
Yeah,
off.
just one. Is it one of those XL ones?
No, it's like a. You mean like?
Didn't you play Black Ice for a second, Rob?
I still do.
Yeah, that's a great. I stole one of those from you too. They're great picks.
Okay, yeah, I definitely have these. The 1.5s. Yeah, so this is a 1.5.
This is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because I ordered the wrong. Oh no. No, there's a 1.14.
Yeah, I have those too.
That's what I use. I ordered the wrong thing.
Oh,
I like
those.
both.
Those are great. I was thinking of similar to like the red.
Yeah.
Those are nylon.
Yeah, they make a red and a black Jazz 3,
The
and
nylon,
the Eric Johnson is a different.
I can't
It's
get
too
with. I don't like
bright
the
for
texture.
me, yeah.
It is. It's bright in the wrong ways. It gets rid of the meat of the attack.
Yeah.
And just gives you the clank. And
They have a black
nobody
one
wants.
that has the same tone.
Yeah, it's same tone, but they're the red and
like
black. And then there's the Eric Johnson one, which has his name on it. And the only thing that I think is different is that it's got a little better grip because there's more raised letters because his last name is Johnson. Speaking of Johnson, what's your favorite venue?
In Nashville?
I didn't say that. You did.
I'm gonna go with the Thirsty Hippo in Hattiesburg.
Yeah, man.
Great choice.
Dude.
That's where I learned.
Especially
my
the
ropes.
OG Hippo.
Represent.
I was too
By
young
the train
to
station.
go
Oh,
there.
dude.
I was a child.
So many memories.
We're running out of time. I want to try to finish this up. Give me off the top of your head, no deliberation, 3 desert island records.
Like, okay, if I was only
Just
gonna listen
off the top of your head. I don't want you to think about it. I want you to give me the
10,000 Days Tool. Right?
Okay, that's a great record.
Oh, okay.
Definitely, it's first mentioned on this podcast.
Let's say
With the pot and all those songs on it.
Yeah. Man.
Don't think about it. Come up with records that you love. You give me 3 of them off the top of your head.
That's like tough.
It is, and that's the point. I don't want you to think. I want you to think of records that you love, and I want you to spit them out.
Today.
Okay, Funky Knuckles,
Island.
What, Meta?
Meta Musica.
Man. Okay, come on.
Great record.
Come on.
Fire record.
Hey, as a matter of fact, I got some roughs from the recording session today, if you guys want to listen to that.
Hell yes.
Podcast.
Really?
Yes. They recorded a new record literally today.
It sounds amazing.
I haven't listened to it
I lived
yet.
with the saxophone player in Denton. Ben Bajorquez, yeah.
Wow.
He's
great.
Great dude.
Give me one more record, Adam McPhail. I'll have a final question.
One more record. How about
pick one?
This is like really hard.
I know. That's the point. The point is I want stream of consciousness. I don't want deliberation. I want you to just try to come up with 3 records that you love.
Johnny Lang live at the Ryman.
Wow. Okay.
That album. That was like my that was it.
Would you mind making a note of those?
Yeah, Johnny Lang live at the Ryman.
All 3.
Want all 3?
I want all 3.
10,000 Days. What was number 2?
I'm going to start.
Meta. Yeah.
I'm going to start.
Is that what it's called? Meta
Musica.
Meta Musica. Yeah.
I'm going to start including a song from each record in a Spotify playlist just for the podcast. People will everybody gives their 3 records. I'm going to pick a song from those 3 records, and I'm going to put it all on a playlist.
Okay, the Johnny Lang. Oh, hold up.
You can text me that later. Right now, I need to ask you a final question because we're about to run out of tape, and we're going to have to start all over, and it's going to be so bad. I'm just kidding. Adam McPhail, you've made it to the end of the questions segment. There's one final question, and that question is called, the question series is called The King's Court. You have to choose B.B. King, Freddie King.
B.B. King.
Doesn't matter what else.
Doesn't matter. Don't even name the other ones.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Hattiesburg Hammer.
I played with him when I was 13 years old.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he was doing a guitar workshop in the Delta, Mississippi, and I was a chosen finalist, and I got to play with him. And yeah, so it doesn't matter who else.
To hell with the rest of you kings.
B.B. King.
We're all kings in our own right. This is a king from Hattiesburg, Mr. Adam McPhail. Adam, thank you for coming and joining us on the podcast. As always, Lyndon McCarty, twistin' and tweakin'. Be sure and follow and subscribe. And all the stuff, all the links will always be in the show notes, no matter where you're watching or listening. And thanks again for tuning in. And until next time on Gear and Beer. Thank you for listening to the Gear and Beer podcast. Make sure and subscribe and turn on notifications for our channels, and if you haven't already, follow our Instagram and YouTube channels. We truly appreciate your support and ask that you please tell anyone you know whom you think might be interested in our podcast about Gear and Beer to help us grow and continue bringing in great guests from around the industry and beyond. Thanks again, and until the next episode.